Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and you are back for another episode of Life with Spice. I figured my necklace was appropriate because we're still under snow. So much snow. So much snow. Maybe I'll put a little picture in here of the hills where my kids, we've been going sledding and everything. It's not going away. It's going away slow. You can see it in the fields where it's kind of melted down a little bit, but it's still all over. And we have a ways to go before winter's over, let me tell you. But anyway, we are going to talk about ginger today. That is our spice of the month. I just figured in doing the hair, skin, and nails and researching, I found some interesting things. Some interesting things on ginger. It's amazing what you see in your hair. That had to do with skin, hair, and nails. And I thought that would be appropriate. We have our spice and we have something we can use also in our cosmetic end of everything. So 3 things. Dream big, be true to you. You are worth it. Let's go. Take some notes. I had to get my coffee. Okay. So ginger is called the universal medicine, and it has been used for centuries for medicinal use purposes. It is a heating and drying herb. So if you, on learningherbs.com, there is a test you can take to tell if you are a warm or cold person, a damp or dry person. I think those are the main 4 ones. I can't remember right now. But so if you are cold, like I would say my oldest daughter is cold because she's always cold. It doesn't matter where she's at work, our house, whatever. She's always cold. And so I just feel like she would benefit from ginger if they'd listen to me, but they don't. But anyway, heating and drying, those are the characteristics. We use the ginger root. I've never heard of anything else being used except the root. So if you use the fresh root, you will have warm and drying. If you use the dried root, you will have hot and drying. Okay? So depending on what you're looking for, you got your options there. Ginger is aromatic, anti-inflammatory, a diffusive, new word. So it's a stimulating diaphoretic and a stimulating expectorant. It's a carminative, it's antimicrobial, blood moving, vermifuge, rubefacient, and astringent. Now, things it helps with, and there's probably more than this. This is just, a basic compiled list. So arthritis, you can take it internally or apply it topically. For migraines, if you take 2 tablespoons of powdered ginger in water on the onset of the migraine, okay? It should help, and then you repeat if necessary, usually within 4 hours. For colds and flu, you can make a ginger poultice and put it on the chest. Ginger tea is great for a sore throat. My son does this every time he has a sore throat. He will pull out the ginger, which is funny to me but hey, when you're suffering, you'll do anything, won't you? For nausea, candied ginger is really good for that. Ear infections, heart health, inflammation, stomach bugs, and cholesterol. Obviously, we use it for food prep, and you can make a decoction. That's the very strong tea. You can use it powdered, you can use it in a tincture, you can use it candied, you can use fresh juice. It's a synergist, which means it increases the potency of other herbs that are combined with it. So it's great to add to your other blends, the previous blends we've made. You can always throw a little bit of ginger in there. The turmeric the moon milk, not moon milk, golden milk. It's got so many names, right? That one, I've been adding ginger to it. I've been making it in the evenings to try and see if it helps with my sleep. And yeah, not so much. maybe I should go back and do the original recipe because I was doing a shortened version. But maybe I need to add the chamomile. Yeah, I know. I'm just it's a learning curve, guys. You gotta, do your thing and do what's best for you, right? You do you. But anyways, yeah, so the turmeric one, I was adding ginger and turmeric and black pepper, except you do that before bed. And, at my age, I don't need any more heat. And I got fuzzy pajamas for winter, so holy cow. Like, it's just like, yes, I had to cut out the ginger. I need to throw some chamomile in there. But anyways, yeah, it's great to add with any blend you feel like adding ginger to. Just add it. You have nothing to lose. It relieves stagnation in the blood. And stagnation can cause can't talk today. See, painful menstruation, delayed menstruation, blood clots, and fibroids. It's kind of important when you're a woman. To make a ginger oil for chronic lower back pain, as well as a tip, you take a 1/4 cup fresh ginger and a 1/2 cup of oil of your choice. You let it infuse 12 to 24 hours. Strain it, and then add 10 to 15 drops of lavender. Store in the fridge 1 to 2 weeks. You are storing it in the fridge, number one, because you're using fresh ginger to infuse it in an oil. So you have the water and the ginger infusing into the oil, okay? That's why you have to put it in the refrigerator. If I was doing this, I would actually put this in a crock pot and let it infuse over the course of a day on low, just to, make it more potent. I think you could use dry ginger for this. It might be a little hot, because the dry ginger is hotter than the fresh ginger, but you could still do the same thing. I think it would be great. Okay. Ginger also supports the pancreas, and I wanted to talk about this because my mother-in-law has pancreatic cancer, and she has been just a trooper with this and all the crap they have put her through. Talking to my husband, because she will do natural things, when she's not doing chemo and stuff like that. And I was wondering if, here's the reason why. Like, if it would help her, because, support the pancreas so the chemo doesn't kill it off totally. I don't know how this all works, guys. So I'm just saying, like, if you know something more about how this works, let me know. But there is a proteolytic enzyme in ginger that first and foremost reduces inflammation, but it also helps regenerate and repair damaged tissue, including scar tissue. Because, there's surgeries and stuff like that, and if you're eating ginger and it's going through your body, hopefully it would help repair and regenerate and help alleviate some of the scar tissue. It's important. Diabetes. It helps reduce the triglyceride levels. I am going to read you a paragraph because I didn't know how to quite reiterate it in my own words to get her point across. Okay, so it's from Cami McBride's The Herbal Kitchen, and it's just under her ginger, which I never mark. Why would I mark the page I'm going to read to you guys? It is on the diabetes and how it helps reduce the triglyceride levels. So she says, and this is a quote, okay, from her book, Diabetes is becoming more prevalent in the healthcare concerns of people of all ages. If you are worried about diabetes, add ginger to your soups and salads to enhance pancreatic function. Ginger demonstrates significant efficiency in lowering the blood levels of triglycerides that are common in diabetes. Anything that raises your blood sugar levels can increase your triglycerides. Elevated triglycerides are indicated in diabetes, heart disease, and risk of stroke. Reduce your sugar intake and include ginger in your daily meals to reduce triglyceride levels and support your pancreas. So maybe they go hand in hand. Do diabetes and the pancreas go together? I don't know. More research. Caution, if you are on blood thinners, please talk to your doctor about eating large amounts of ginger. So if you're eating large amounts of ginger, talk to your doctor about it if you're on blood thinners. Now, for the hair, skin, and nail topic of ginger, just some things you can do with it. Please test it first, like on your wrist. You know, if you make something, test it on your wrist first to make sure it's not going to irritate you. Ginger essential oil can cause irritation, allergies, and all sorts of things in sensitive skin types. So be careful with the ginger essential oil. However, we are talking about the ginger powdered root thing, okay? You can make a toner with witch hazel. You can make a hair rinse with vinegar. I talked about this before. One of these days we will do this. Just throw some ginger in the jar, you know, fill it up a little bit and top it with hot vinegar and let it steep for 2 weeks and strain it out and use it as a hair rinse. You don't need to use the whole jar at once. You can use just a couple tablespoons, quarter of a cup, mix it with some more water, rinse your hair out. And if you can stand it, don't, usually if I mix it with water, it's not really potent anyway, so you don't have to rinse it out. You can do powdered masks. I would mix with clay. That one I would test on my wrist just because I don't know. And you can make a basic scrub. So ginger has been used in skincare for decades. It's a rejuvenator which can reduce the signs of aging, flushes out toxins, and evens out skin tones. The anti-inflammatory property promotes hair growth because it improves blood circulation. And the antioxidant, I can't even read my notes, you guys. And the antioxidant characteristic also can help reduce scars, protect skin against UV rays. The scarring, if it's the skin scars outside, apply topically. It can improve elasticity and tone. For dry and aging skin, ginger can brighten and glow. For oil and acne type skin, ginger can tighten and smooth. It is an antiseptic, which kills the bacteria, which causes breakouts. Okay, also helps with hyperpigmentation. Always do a patch test. They call it a patch test. I call it a skin test. So it almost makes it seem like it's something that we should add to our skin routine. Thinking about the lilac and basil skin face cream, that might be a good one to add it to. There's so many things to add it to, you guys. Okay, tone and glowing skin. You can apply slices of fresh ginger directly to your face. It actually manages dandruff, which is caused by yeast and bacteria. It can help keep it at bay. If you do a ginger oil, so infuse the ginger in the oil. You could do this on a stove if you watch it really carefully and it's on low. Like if you're gonna, like, I have time to do this today, you know. Ginger oil 2 times per week. Massage it in. Kind of like the hyaluronic acid. Did you see the hyaluronic acid video? Did I say I put it on my fingertips and massage it in, or did I just tell that to everybody? Ginger oil, fresh ginger. you can extract the juice from, or ginger powder. Any of those can be used. Ginger slices on the face, make sure you keep them away from the eyes, okay? 15 minutes, rinse it out. I should have said that earlier. You can make a bath salt with ginger. Just half a cup Epsom salt and 2 teaspoons ground ginger. Mix them together well and put them in a bath. It'll warm you up. You can make a scrub. 2 tablespoons oil of your choice. 4 tablespoons brown sugar. 1 tablespoon ground ginger. Mix it together. Keep it in a little container, airtight, container. And when you dip your hands in it, maybe use a spoon, because with no preservative and you get water in there, you can get bacterial growth. We're actually going to do a traditional sugar scrub here down the road, so that'll be fun. Face masks, toners, shampoo. You can add a half a cup of ginger juice to 12 ounces of shampoo. It will thin it out a little bit, you know that, but massage oil. But I like this one. We're going to do something similar. Right. So that is all I have to tell you about ginger, I think. If not, I will tell you more while we are in the kitchen cooking. Are we cooking? Okay, yes. We are making ginger witch hazel. We are making a ginger oil, kind of like the massage oil, but you can use it for other things. We are making a ginger and Dijon mustard salad dressing. We are making candied ginger, and we are making a burdock and ginger syrup to make a drink, like a typical ginger ale with a twist. So I will see you in the kitchen. Okay, to our ginger witch hazel, which will be used for, there's my ginger, remember? But I'm going to use the stuff in the bag first, which is going to be used for cosmetic uses. I'm thinking about putting it in my basil and lilac facial cream. You can, in a toner, anything where I use witch hazel, I can use this ginger witch hazel. And so to start, remember, write. Details. So I'm going to start with about half an ounce of ginger. It's just ground up. It's not ground, it's whatever. It's kind of ground. And then we're going to use witch hazel. Make sure your witch hazel has 14% natural grain alcohol. 14%. Okay? Nothing more, nothing else added. You want to keep it the good witch hazel. You're going to pay a little bit more for it, but that's the good witch hazel. Not a Mountain Rose Herbs has a really good organic. Is it organic? I don't know. Witch hazel, but okay, 14%. And I'm going to do 4 ounces. This is a small jar. 4 ounces witch hazel. Put a plastic. Okay, I put the wax cover on because those stupid plastic covers don't. You shake and they go bad. They leak. They suck. So there you go. 2 weeks, and then strain it. That's all there is to it. Really simple. There's the ginger witch hazel. Next is the ginger and rose infused oil. Now this one was one that I talked about. I thought I talked about it in the beginning. So this can be used as a massage oil. You can put it on your back for aches and pains. Okay, here are my beautiful rose petals. So it's 1 tablespoon or 0.25 ounces of the ground ginger, and I'm going to put close to the same amount of rose petals. They take up my room, but that's just how it is. One thing I didn't do here, I wasn't really thinking about it. A lot of times I will add a teaspoon, just a little tish of vodka to my dried herbs, botanicals, whatever, and mix it up really good. I don't know why. It is something I found or started doing, and I don't do it all the time. And I chose sunflower oil for this, just because I might not use it as a massage oil. I might use it in a lotion or something else. Sunflower, apricot, rice bran, grapeseed, a light olive oil, regular olive oil is all fine. Just whatever you want to use. Almond oil would be great. I chose sunflower. I did 8 ounces of oil. I'm going to cap it. I don't have to put the wax paper on, but I was putting a plastic lid, so that's why, yeah, I did that. Shake it. You can either crock pot it for a day, or you can leave it sit there for 4 to 6 weeks. Just shake it every once in a while. Don't forget to label and date your stuff so you know what it is. And there is the beautiful ginger and rose oil. Next is the ginger and Dijon dressing. This is probably my favorite overall of what the things I am doing. Don't make fun of my cutting board. I need to, scrub it and peroxide it. But that's a piece of ginger, about 2 inches. You want about a tablespoon and a half. It said grated. I'm not going to ever grate this again. You're supposed to put it in the blender. You have to blend it. So if you're going to put it in the blender, multiply it by 2. If you have an immersion blender, it's fine. But I should have chopped it. They shredded it. Chopping it is so much freaking easier, and it goes through my immersion blender better. So just a tip, next time I make this tip, I'm chopping it. Because, yeah, shredding that stuff sucks. I keep my ginger in a jar of water in the fridge. It stays fresher longer. It doesn't shrivel up and get all gooey looking. It was, and then I found that tip, and it really has helped. Yeah. Okay, so 1.5 tablespoons ginger into the little container it goes. And then it was 2 tablespoons, they said rice vinegar, and then when you get to the instructions it says white wine vinegar. I have both. I used both of them, so I went with the white wine vinegar since that is what was listed in the recipe, but I am pretty sure, there you go, you could use rice vinegar also. And then, okay, so it's 1 tablespoon Dijon mustard. I never have Dijon mustard. So a quick tip, horseradish sauce and regular mustard. You just take the mustard, I guess you can't see that very well, huh? And fill the tablespoon and just put a blop of horseradish, whether it's raw horseradish or creamy purchased horseradish. Doesn't everybody have horseradish in their fridge? And that will make the Dijon mustard. And then you need 1 tablespoon of honey. It's a little thick, but that's okay. And then a 1/2 cup of your choice of light oil. So vegetable oil, blah, blah, blah. I like my olive oil, you guys. I'm sorry. It's not a light oil, but that's what I put in there. So just a 1/2 cup of that. Why does that look like a 1/4 of a cup? That does look like a 1/4 of a cup. I might have to double check my recipe. No, I thought I wrote it down right. So, okay. But anyway, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, whatever I did. And then we need a 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. Mine's garlic granules. It's close enough. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And mine's pink Himalayan salt. And then you just take the immersion blender and blend till smooth. This is what I'm talking about. See those big chunks? It's the ginger that's kind of shreddy, like celery. It gets up shreddy when I shredded it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna chunk it up next time. But just like I said, if you're going to put this in the blender, multiply it by 2 because you need more, unless you have a little baby blender. I have one of those too. I could have used that, but I just love my stick blender, immersion blender. This thing's got some power to it. It really does. I really love it. I'd have more fun with it if I was using it in soap, but I'm not going to use it in soap. No, maybe down the road I'll get one for my soaping, but this stuff was yummy. Absolutely yummy. Okay, there you go. Ginger Dijon dressing. Here is probably the hardest one out of all of them. This is candied ginger. See my ginger floating in the jar? Yeah, it was going bad. I put this video off so long, it was starting to go bad. And so I just hacked the bad pieces off and put it in the water, and it stays pretty good in the water. So the first thing we need to do is cut the ginger. And you can peel it if you want. If you're going to peel it, use a spoon. Mine was a little wet and I wasn't, the spoon will work. Okay. And it just takes the peel off, which is great. But I'm one of those people who, I don't peel my potatoes, you know. I don't peel much of anything unless I have to. So yeah, we're not peeling it. We're just going to slice it. Thin slices, not too thin, not paper thin, but just, you know, thin enough. Now, the original recipe, she has a pound of ginger, and as you saw, mine is barely 4 ounces, just because, you know, it's me. So you can see I got some bad pieces. The chickens will be getting those. And then what you need to do is, well, okay, so I was weighing it again, because then you weigh out an equal amount of sugar. Okay, but she weighs it afterwards. It didn't make a difference, really. So you want to put it into a pan, a good solid pan, and we're going to cover it with water. Here's a little tidbit for you. You need to cover it with enough water. I actually had to refill the water a couple times because it was running out. So there you go. You want to bring it to a boil. You want to boil it for 30 to 40 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes till it's translucent. Okay? Watch it. Add water if you need to. Reserve the tea. Okay? We're going to strain it into a jar. Notice the knife I have sticking in my jar? Okay? That's to absorb the heat so I don't crack my jar. Just like we do with our tea, remember? So reserve some of the tea. Don't drink the tea. You can drink the tea. It needs to be watered down. That is some potent tea. You could actually mix that with a sparkling water, and you'd have an awesome ginger ale. Like, really. But I would definitely make sure it's 1 part to 4 parts. 1 part tea, 4 parts seltzer. You got it? Sorry. Off on a tangent. Okay, back to what we're doing. You weigh the ginger and you put equal amounts of sugar in there into the pot. Now, for a pound of ginger, she uses 1/4 cup of this, what she calls tea. I'm going to put 1/8 cup, and, you know, I'm not sure. I think the 1/8 cup was fine. It was totally fine. So you're going to put that on the heat, and then you're going to get a cookie sheet and line it with wax paper. And then you're going to put it on high till it starts to bubble and boil and get the liquid out. Okay? Like medium high. And then you're going to turn it down to medium low. Okay, once it starts to, I'll show you, there's a really good, there you go. At that point, turn it down to medium low or low, depending. And don't look away. I'll show you what happens when you look away. And you want to mix it for 20 minutes. I didn't do 20 minutes. That's what happens when you look away. I did 10 minutes. And until it starts to look dry. And to me, this is the point where it started to look dry. So you remove it from the heat, okay? Yeah, you see what I mean? So yeah, I had 10 minutes. Remove it from the heat and put it onto your wax paper to cool off. Once it's totally cool, you can store it in a covered container and it should last a couple of weeks. I think it will last more just because of the sugar, but I'm not sure. If you want to know how to clean a pan like that, just add some hot water, let it soak. It comes right off. Really easy. These are potent, super potent, guys. There's your candied ginger. Very potent. And last but not least is the ginger and burdock mocktail. So we're going to create the syrup first. Like I said, if you want to do a ginger ale, simple, make a really strong ginger tea, add it to some seltzer, tonic water, you know, sparkling water, whatever. But we're going to start here. And the first part of the recipe is 2 tablespoons dried burdock root, or double it if it's fresh, and 2 tablespoons dried ginger, double it if it's fresh. I like the dried ginger in this. I like it hot. You're going to add 1.5 cups water. I always add a little more because I end up boiling it and, you know, it boils out. So mine's closer to a cup and 3/4, I'm pretty sure. But it will work. Anyways, you're going to bring it to a boil and cover it low simmer for 30 minutes. Okay? Sorry about this lemon. He is frozen. He was frozen, and that's all I had. So you want to take a lemon and put it into slices. Just to ignore the bowl up on top. That's my grapefruit and peppermint shrub. Doing 8 things at once here, people. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you remove it from heat, and you're going to add the lemons. Then you're going to add 4 whole allspice. Okay, I'm mixing the lemons in there. 4 whole allspice. You're going to do 1 whole star anise. Aren't those beautiful? I added 2. And 1 green cardamom pod, cracked. I couldn't crack it. I had to put it on the thing. I opened it up. And then you're going to mix it around, and then you're going to add 3/4 cup honey, up to 3/4 cup, or to taste. I don't think I added a 3/4 of a cup. I think I added, my little spoon there is an 1/8. Is it an 1/8 or a 1/3? Oh, whatever it is. I think it's an 1/8. And I added, yeah, so I added like 4 of those. I had about 1/2 cup. I didn't want it too sweet, you know, because I can always, you know, seltzer water, you know, depending on your mocktail, it can get sweet anyway. So what you're going to do is you're going to mix it up till the honey is totally dissolved. Okay, and let it cool totally. See, mix it up. Get all the juice out. And then we get to strain it. So I took a larger strainer, and then I'm straining it over a smaller, thinner, tinier strainer. You just do you. Whatever you need to do, you do you. So there it is. That's the syrup part. And you can refrigerate it, right? We've done this before. Refrigerate it. It should be good in the fridge for like 6 months or so. So we're going to do 1 part syrup, 4 parts seltzer. So 1 part syrup, our ginger burdock spicy syrup, and then 4 parts. I say seltzer. This is just carbonated water. This one's a plain one. You could use flavored if you wanted. You can use whatever you want, really. It's you do you. And there you go. There is the ginger and burdock soda syrup. And there you have it. Tonya's Witchy Kitchen. life with spice. Everything ginger. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.